Hey guys, welcome to another video. Let's talk homeschool, shall we? So, as I mentioned in my previous video where I was talking about how we have moved back to Australia with the number one reason being homeschooling. Our children's education is of utter importance to us, and so that was the main reason we moved back. Homeschool. I made one very big decision, and I know this might be trivial to some and like, oh, you know, we do this all the time for others. However, I felt the need to talk about it because I felt so strongly about it that I know there's definitely someone else out there who might need to hear this. It's pretty much my logic right now. So we are currently in our second year of homeschooling. We are currently halfway through the school year, if not more than that, because we do follow the Australian school year, which is technically the calendar year. I mean, the school year itself, public school year, is February to December. I would say January to December is our personal school year. So we are halfway and a bit more than that through the year, and we have not done much this year. This year has been, we kind of really struggled through the first few months. We then took 2 months off the summer, the European summer, of course, due to the heat waves and then due to the move, just like getting ready and everything. August was definitely not a month for homeschooling. Plus I shipped a lot of our stuff. Which I'm expecting over the next couple of weeks actually, so that's exciting. And however, what these 2 months of taking time off gave me was a clarity in regards to something that was kind of eating at me. So I changed up our curriculum this year. At the beginning of the year, I changed it up completely. We had started with the Good and the Beautiful language arts last year, which was our first year, and by the end of the year we were really struggling. Like she did not want to do it. She was crying and just fighting and just it was not working for us. So I decided to swap out a lot of things and break up her language arts this year, and that worked really well. The only thing I kept from the Good and the Beautiful was reading, because I thought she started reading fine. She was reading her readers. We were having a little bit of an issue towards the end of the year, but I kind of grouped that all together, that it was because of the full language arts, like it was the whole thing as a total was the issue. So I thought changing things up but keeping the reading curriculum that I thought was okay, we would be okay. I started feeling as we were progressing closer to the summer months, so let's say April, May, I started feeling like there were gaps. I couldn't put my finger on like a specific thing that she wasn't learning in regards to reading, but the way she stressed about reading, the way she didn't want to read her readers. She would read the words in the reading booster cards perfectly fine. She would, like, there were times when even her readers, she would read them perfectly fine, and then other times she was just not. Like, there was something about the way it was set up. I think just something was eating at me. And then we hit summertime and we stopped and we took a break, and about a month and even more so into this 2-month break, she started saying things to me like, I don't know how to read. There would be opportunities for her to read something that she could read, like considering what she'd already done it in her schoolwork, and she wouldn't even try. Like, she'd be like, no, I can't read, no. So she developed this, I don't know, this stress, this fear, this I can't even. And I thought, okay, I think what I'm feeling, like that gut instinct of mine, there's something to it. It's not just me being, but what do you do in the middle of first grade? What curriculum can you possibly, like, do I change language arts? Do I go back to a language arts that kind of encompasses everything? What do I do? It's mainly reading. She was doing pretty well in everything else. Like, she didn't mind. The reading was kind of holding her back from really jumping into everything else, but she was progressing. So I thought, okay, I need to backtrack a little bit. And this is where my main fear comes in. I was terrified of the idea of going back a level, of going back, because in my head I still had it as in, like, she's going back a grade level, not just, okay, we're changing curriculums, starting from the beginning of this curriculum so that we can get the best out of it. I was terrified of the idea of taking 2 steps back in order to then move forward and switching to a curriculum that was of a lower level, supposedly, even though in my mind, if I really sat down to think about it, I knew that starting a new curriculum even at a lower level, when you're in homeschool and you are the one who dictates your program, your schedule, everything, you can go through things faster. You can move at a faster pace. You can do multiple lessons when they're easy and simple, and until you get to the point where it's at your level and then you're progressing normally, you can do all sorts of things. I got a bit caught up in my own head about moving backwards, and that might hurt her reading or hurt her general progress. And then I realized that what I was saying was completely silly. Like, I was like, what am I saying? She's moving through a curriculum that supposedly is helping her read, but she's struggling with it. She doesn't, I just feel like The Good and the Beautiful turned out to just not be, except for, I have to say, we do The Good and the Beautiful for math. She loves Good and the Beautiful math, and she loves her handwriting. It's just the language arts for some reason, I don't know, something happened there. So I finally was like, okay, I'm gonna go right back to the drawing board. I'm gonna go back to my initial thoughts on curriculum. So my number one thought on curriculum, my number one choice when I first started looking into curriculum for our homeschool in the first year of homeschool was all about reading. It had been my first choice and I had really wanted to do it, but unfortunately at the time, the cost of buying it, number one, it was gonna take like forever to arrive. Number two, the cost was literally equal to the cost of the curriculum. Like, the cost of shipping was equal to the cost of the curriculum. I was gonna be buying 2 curriculums for one, basically. It was, I don't even. So I was kind of like, you know, at the time, and again, I didn't know that The Good and the Beautiful would turn out to not be for us. So I went with that choice, which I printed, my own books, etc. I didn't order The Good and the Beautiful, I printed it out. Financially, the PDFs are free, so it was a good choice all around, so I thought. And this is not to back The Good and the Beautiful. The Good and the Beautiful can be amazing for other people. It's just, it didn't work for my child, and that specific child. So now I have reached the point where we're halfway through grade 1, and I have made the decision to literally do all about reading. I ordered it. I had it sent here straight away to Australia. I didn't even bother, you know, because it would take forever and cost a bazillion dollars. I got all about reading. I dived, I took the leap, and we are gonna start from the beginning. We are going to start our reading journey again and just fill in the gaps in a way that I hope suits her learning style more. She likes games, she likes moving around. I think it also had to do with me learning her learning style. I think that plays a big part as well, because as homeschool moms, I think we are constantly learning, and I feel like I wasn't letting myself fully embrace that I need to learn, I need to adjust, and I need to stop being scared of staying on track and being up to grade level. I need her to be learning and progressing and being the best she can be. Not just, oh, we're in grade 1, we need to do grade 1 curriculum. So we're gonna do this. In my little planner head, I feel like we should be able to finish this by the end of this school year, or maybe like just about, and like finish it up at the beginning of next year. Clearly, because she does read a lot of these. She already has done a lot of these as far as like reading them. So I feel like it'll kind of be a recap. That's Iris for some reason, screeching. If you can hear that. Yeah, we'll see. I will update you guys again in about a month of how this is going. I hope that this turns out how I'm thinking in my mind, because, you know, with The Good and the Beautiful, I did have certain ideas in my head again, and hopes and dreams. But as I said, this was my first choice. This was the one that I felt would suit her more, and the one that even now, like now, especially after like a year and a half of homeschooling, I feel will definitely suit her more. So I don't know. I hope it turns out well. I just wanted to say that it's okay to change things. It's okay to do lower levels. It's okay to do, in the same way, I feel like it's easier for people to be like, oh, we're ahead 1 year in math. We're ahead, you know, but it's harder to say we're doing a level back, a level lower than what she would normally be, because that's what's good for her right now. I feel like it's harder to say that, to take a step back, than it is to like try and run ahead. So we're taking a step back. We are gonna start all about reading, and we're continuing with our Good and the Beautiful math. She's in level 1, just moving through that, and we're just gonna slowly get back into our homeschool this month. I'm not gonna do too many things this month, pretty much all about reading, Good and the Beautiful, math, as well as handwriting, because your handwriting definitely is gonna need the help after having done nothing for 2 months. And then slowly kind of adding everything else into it. I'm not gonna stress over if we're gonna finish our phonics or our spelling curriculum, or you know, just all the other things that we've been doing. I'm not gonna do that to myself or to her. We will slowly incorporate those again as I see fit, and as we, you know, as we're able to tackle them. Because the main reason we're not in public school is because of the stress and the anxiety that came with, number one, her being in the environment of school per se, with adults who, she had gone through a phase where she had gone to school initially with teachers that didn't care at all. And that's where she first got sick, and that's where everything kind of started. And then we changed schools, but it just kind of stuck, I guess. And I will talk about that in a separate video because I feel like it's important, not just something to just brush over. But yeah, it's, I've sidetracked myself now. I can't even, I lost track of what I was saying. Anyway, the main thing is this, that stress and anxiety and all that was the main reason why we're not doing public school. So I need to remember that and not add that into our homeschool. It would kind of like, what's the point, you know? And it's okay, it's okay. So we're gonna be trying all about reading, and we will see how that goes. I'll see you guys in the next one.